Hi, this is Zebra Not Horse and I'm MJ. I started this YouTube channel because I wanted to document my own personal journey, but also so I could be an encourager to other people who are maybe on similar journeys. So I was late diagnosed being autistic just this year, and I'm learning so much along the way. If you are new to being diagnosed, then please like and subscribe, follow along, and offer me some tips on what you would like to see in these videos. Just if you are autistic, you know someone's autistic, or you're self-diagnosed autistic. Yeah, this is a channel to help people, but it's also just for me to record how I continue to learn more and more about myself. So in today's episode, I want to talk about imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is definitely something that a lot of late diagnosed people can understand and relate to. So I have definitely had my own dose of imposter syndrome for so many years now. I've always kind of had an inkling that I could be autistic, maybe not in my childhood and my teen years, but definitely late teen, adult, early adult years. I knew that there was something that I should maybe look into a little deeper with. But then I also had that feeling of maybe I'm not autistic enough. Maybe the traits that I have don't kind of justify a diagnosis, because I can, have days where I feel like I'm completely capable of following tasks and being social and processing the world around me. And then I have other days which are harder to even get out of bed, have a shower, figure out what I'm going to wear, contemplate making any daily tasks for myself. So on the days that I am feeling like I'm able, they're the days where I have imposter syndrome, where I'm like, oh, other people have it worse. This, maybe I'm just claiming this because it's the latest craze. Autism, there's more and more people getting diagnosed with it, and I just want to fit in somewhere, and maybe this is where I can fit in. Until the day I got my diagnosis, I think being an imposter was just so strong in my mind, and I was afraid that by claiming to be something that I might not be, takes away from other people who it really resonates with. But then at the same time, I've always resonated, ever since I started learning about what autism is, I've resonated with it, like I totally get it. I hear other people's stories and I'm like, that's me, I feel so seen. But, so I knew I didn't fit into a neurotypical world, but maybe I didn't fit into the autistic world either. So I kind of lived in limbo, feeling this imposter syndrome a lot. But yet, I kind of think about the fact that there are autistics in every industry and every walk of life. So, I am being represented in the world, and I don't have to doubt it. Just because I'm capable to do some things and I find some things really easy doesn't mean that I don't have struggles in other areas and massive challenges. Like literally every single day has a significant amount of challenges and struggles for me, and some of them go unseen to even the people who love and know me really well. But at times, I do feel completely competent. I don't need to ask for help. I don't get overwhelmed. I can do social interaction. I'm able to function executively. But these days are not every day, and very few and far in between. Most of my days have struggles. I guess I kind of feel like, the analogy of the swan, like it's gracefully swimming on the water, but underneath the water it's paddling like crazy to get anywhere. And I guess a lot of people can relate to that one. I use a different one. So when I'm feeling overwhelmed and overstimulated and kind of feel like I'm not in control and I'm struggling to exist in this world, I feel like I'm in a boat that's in the middle of deep water, and the boat's got a hole in it, and basically I've got a bucket and I'm constantly trying to like empty the water out of the boat so I can fix the hole, but I can never get to the hole because the water keeps filling in. So it's just like a repetitive struggle. I'm exhausted with it, and I don't really know how to kind of get out of that situation. So that's me when I'm feeling at my most vulnerable and most exposed, overstimulated, really struggling autistic self. And that's not all the time. So yeah, then imposter syndrome kicks in. But I would say since having a diagnosis, imposter syndrome hasn't been as strong for me because I just have that, for some reason, expert's opinion seems to matter, which it shouldn't, because I guess you're the only one that really knows yourself properly. And I should have trusted what I already knew about myself. But the validation that I felt when I got a professional telling me I'm autistic, it eradicated a lot of the thoughts that, oh, you're just faking it, or you're not really autistic enough to fit into this world, the autistic world. It lessened, and it's definitely been more reassuring. But I know people who go undiagnosed or are self-diagnosed. This is really real for them. So if this is you and you're watching this right now, I want to say, please be kind to yourself. It's not something that you alone are feeling. Like, I'm pretty sure most autistic people have felt this at some stage, and it is very it's strong and it's real. But it doesn't have to be your identity. Like, trust who you are, and if you need to get a diagnosis, then sure, go down that journey. But I validate someone who says they are self-diagnosed. I think that is totally justifiable. It's not like you've got a broken bone and you need a doctor who's got a medical degree to figure that one out. It's neuroscience, and if you know that your brain's wired differently, and being autistic, and if you've done enough research to feel that resonates with you, then just own it. Just be self-diagnosed, and I encourage you in that journey. For me, I needed to be diagnosed by a professional. I don't know why. For the whole reason of imposter syndrome, probably. But yeah, I just wanted to say, it's real. One thing I remember is that when I started telling people that I got a diagnosis, a majority of people were in disbelief because they couldn't see it. But that's just because I've managed to hide it. As a child, I was constantly put in situations where I had to mask better. I would be picked on because I would say something or I would act a certain way, and they would ostracize me for it. So I learned very, very quickly to adapt to these situations and act exactly how people expected me to. So that by the time I became an adult, I was so, this masking, I had mastered the camouflage ability. That also means that me accepting that I'm autistic and it's not imposter syndrome, there's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of unlearning all these coping strategies that I've put in place my whole life. And that will be the same for many people. It's a learning curve, a learning journey of discovering who we are and trusting who we are. That's all I've got for today. Thank you.